Hey gang, Big Ed back with episode 15 of our songwriting course, taking place from my lovely hotel room in Oslo, Norway. This is what I'm doing on my day off. I'm doing this for you. All right. So anyway, all kidding aside, what inspired me to do this episode today is I heard a live version of a song that I just adore and consider one of the just pinnacle examples of songwriting from a real great of American song, Mr. James Taylor. Highly underrated. I know that's what? He's underrated? Yes, James Taylor's underrated because he's better than you think. He's awesome. So the song I want to talk about is Mill Worker. So let me get to it. You'll excuse me as I read off of my computer screen because I'm not home. So I have to put it on a computer screen. I can't print it out. Mill Worker is a genius piece of craftsmanship. It was originally constructed for a Studs Terkel play. At the time, I don't think they used it, but they might have used it eventually. It was a play called Working. So, and that's a great thing to know because he was given a task. He was said, look, they said to him, we've got this play. We'd like you to write a couple songs, which he did. And this was one of them. All the songs he wrote for the play are amazing. Check out his Flag album, which to me is his best album ever. Going through a rough time he was, but amazing. And this song, Mill Worker, is on that record. So, dig this. My grandfather was a sailor. He blew it off the water. My father was a farmer, and I his only daughter. I took up with a no-good mill-working man from Massachusetts who dies from too much whiskey and leaves me these three faces to feed. Amazing. Mill work ain't easy. Mill working ain't hard. Mill work ain't nothing but an awful boring job. I'm waiting for a daydream to take me through my morning and put me in my coffee break where I can have a sandwich and remember. Then it's me and my machine for the rest of the morning, for the rest of the afternoon, and the rest of my life. Come on. I mean, that paints you a picture. Now, I'm pretty sure he had the idea of, my grandfather was a sailor, set up the whole thing, but then he has to go back as a writer and set up the character study of the female mill worker who's actually singing, who's the narrator of this tale. And the refrain sort of has a bit of a pre-chorus and not a terribly obvious chorus. And I think the lyrics change a little bit at the end, which is further genius. I mean, it's just such a beautifully constructed song. And when you listen to the song, you'll also notice that it's based off a riff. There's an acoustic guitar riff that sounds sort of simple and it's not too difficult, but it's hooky as hell. And it's kind of almost rock and roll, but it's almost Celtic. It's rolling and it just plays into the narrative beautifully. So you've got a riff, you've got an amazing narrative, and you've got a very pretty old-timey refrain, but not necessarily uncontemporary at the same time. Incredible song, Mill Worker. So then the story continues, and goes back to that episode where I told you to write stories and then make a song out of it, like write a narrative, write a story, write prose, get a complete picture, almost a movie-like picture, and then cut it back into a story. This is a really good example of what you can do with that. Now my mind begins to wander to the days back on the farm. I can see my father smiling at me, swinging on his arm. I can hear my granddad's stories of the storms out on Lake Erie, where vessels and cargoes and fortunes and sailors' lives were lost. And that's not even the end. Mill worker James Taylor, check it out. See you next time.